everybody, I'm Tatsudoshi.
I'm Gordon Burton.
And this is the first of 4 Stanley Kubrick films that we were requested to do by Doc Sigma. And the reason for that is because, 1, Doc Sigma really likes Stanley Kubrick, and 2, Doc Sigma's insane. So both of those being true to form, we had to review 4 Stanley Kubrick films. This is the first of them. And we were requested to do these in chronological order of their release. Now, these 4 movies aren't one right after another. These are throughout his career, and the first of which is Dr. Strangelove. Have you ever seen this movie before?
No, I have not.
Okay, I've seen this a long time ago when I was a kid. My dad was a big fan of Stanley Kubrick, so I've seen quite a few of his movies, and going back and watching Dr. Strangelove again really made me think, why did my dad make me watch this when I was a kid? Because a lot of the humor and the subtleties were really lost on me as a kid. I thought the movie was fun, but I really couldn't appreciate it. And actually going back and seeing it again, it's only an hour and a half long, which is a short for a Kubrick film. Most of his movies are balls long. This one's actually average length. But it was nice actually going back and seeing what I missed a long time ago. The little subtleties, and there's it's a movie about war. What really do you want? But it's really a 3-act kind of play, all except for all 3 acts are going at the exact same time. You have the first act, which is basically the crazy general calling in a nuclear strike on Russia using this loophole and his whole insanity thing. Then there was the second act of the play, which is basically the airplane that is gets the airstrike request first, and then the third act of it is the president and so on and so forth dealing with the problem of trying to stop this from actually coming forth. I really did enjoy this movie. It's really nice to go back and see something that you saw a long time ago and have it not suck donkey balls. This is actually one of those for me. I really didn't remember too much of it. I did remember enjoying it, and as most people seem to remember from this movie, there's the scene of the guy with the cowboy hat on the atomic bomb going, "Yahoo!" And that's pretty much what everybody remembers of it. But there's a lot more substance to it, and yes, there is a character called Dr. Strangelove. Don't let the title and everything like, what the fuck that's supposed to mean? There is a character in it, and though he isn't a main character, he's the most fun character. So, being a first-time watcher of this movie, what did you think?
I thought it was pretty interesting. I mean, it's basically this another one of those. Of course, it's a black-white film, which I haven't seen in quite a while. But
the last one you said you saw,
Clerks.
Yeah, the last one he saw was Clerks. I don't think that really counts, but I'll let it slide.
Well, it is all in black and white.
It is, but
okay, no, it's not dated.
No, there you go.
Okay, but this is actually one didn't have a choice.
Color,
but,
what's
yeah,
that?
Well, color was what was that? But basically it's just basically we're fighting against the Russians. It's the Cold War, I believe, or it's somewhere around there. The Soviets still around, and we through a loophole, someone decides to go crazy and says, I'm going to throw this in, and they bypass the president having anywhere, and they just going to bomb Russia and stuff, and it's just, it starts to be like, okay, it's just another war movie, but then that's just, as it goes along, it gets kind of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Silly,
corny sometimes.
Quirky. There you go, quirky.
It comes quirky, and this you have these characters, and first. They're sitting in the war room, and the president's all serious. And then next thing you know, he's kind of having a pet talk with, I guess, the president of Russia or the ambassador.
No, the ambassador was with him at the time. He was actually talking to the leader of the Soviet Union at the time.
So he was talking to the leader of the Soviet, and he's apparently drunk, and he's trying to use small words, we sort of made a oopsie doodle,
oopsie daisy,
and so we got some guys that are going to nuke.
We need to get some sanitary wipes and address the mess, as it were.
So and then really it's it tried to take itself seriously sometimes, and then it's no, we're being too serious, so they decided to throw some slight humor in there, but it wasn't I guess it was like the earliest spoof, I guess, of a war movie.
That's the thing is it was a very real thing, especially for taking a look at it back in the day. If you were to watch that movie, you'd get a chuckle out of it, but you'd leave the theater or something thinking, "Fuck, that's." Overall, it's a fairly, surreal movie, especially if you're thinking about it in the time period of which it was released and the time it came out. That's some scary shit, and an all-out nuclear war, and then the whole thing coming down to a doomsday device that will blow up the planet and turn it into Fallout. It's just, nuclear winter being a super real thing in this case. It's just kind of a really scary thought when you think about, the general populace of that time not really knowing too much of what was actually going on in the presidential cabinet and in the Soviet Union. So it was really kind of an interesting semi-spoof, sort of realistic, kind of thing going on where the actual pilot team who had... who we focus on, because there was more than just one plane going on, but we only focused on one in the movie. And their radio got broken, so when the codes for, stop and cease and desist were ordered, they didn't get it, and they were supposed to be shot down by the Russians, but only 3 of the 4 planes that were hit were actually downed. So this one had all of its, communications down, and they just went right fucking ahead and blew shit up. And worst case scenario happened, and it was atomic bombs going off across the world, and shit was going bad, and that's your closure, which is kind of one of those things where you're sitting back. It's like, well, this movie was a fun ride, but can't help but wonder, at the time that it was released, it's like, what if this did happen? Or from our perspective now. Fuck, what if that did happen? What could be our future right now? We could be living in caves, slaughtering goats, and having sex with 10 women, because for every one man, there will be 10 women.
Right. Which is... I like that idea.
Oh, the Russian ambassador having to say, it's like, I like the way you think, Dr. Strangelove. Fucking hilarious. And, what was that? What was the line? I'm going to misquote it, and I'm going to feel really bad about it, because this is a line that my dad said just before he said, he's like, this is my favorite line in the entire movie. And the line was, women seek my power and seek the life essence. And it's like, so basically what this guy, the crazy general, is saying is, women go after him for his spooge to create super babies that could strangle people. And it's just it was a really weird conversation between him and this British soldier, and, well, let's just face it, the psycho guy was really fucking crazy, and it wasn't even, like, kinda sorta crazy, he was balls retarded.
Yeah, he was just kinda, like, you just stare at it, it's like, so, and the British guy's the only one of the reason, basically, with him, and...
He's trying. The British guy really tries, but
right. But no one wants to listen to the British.
Oh, my favorite line is, it's like, if you can't get the president on this phone, you know what's going to happen to you. No, what? You're going to have to answer to the Coca-Cola Corporation. Fucking hilarious every time. Every damn time, alright? It was just, it's a priceless... This movie holds up really well. And compared to some of Kubrick's other work, in my opinion, this one is something that if you have to only watch one Kubrick film, I'd say this one. But this is just the start of our adventure, and next time we'll be hitting some more. But final thoughts on Dr. Strangelove?
Yeah. If you wanted to just take a look at something that as sort of like if you like war movies and whatnot, and you also like I guess a little bit of quirkiness and spoofs with it, then yeah, definitely check it out, because it's a good movie, and you will get a couple of chuckles, maybe a laugh from the slight humor. So yeah, check it out. At least once and stuff. Give it a try.
A warning: the humor is kind of dry, so if that's not your style, then you might want to avoid it completely. But I did enjoy this movie, and going back and seeing it again was quite the treat, especially because we got to see an HD version of the film, which made you able to see all the little crappy grains and shit on the camera. Hilarious.